What's going on, everybody? My name is Dpatau and welcome to another tutorial. In today's tutorial we're going to be dealing with Mekanism and creating a 3x OR processing system using Mekanism and also X-Net controller. This is what you're looking for? Please stay tuned. Alrighty, so I'm going to quickly give a brief description of what the system is and how it works. In the little timeline below, feel free to skip directly to the tutorial if you don't want to watch this part, but maybe some people want to know what it actually does and how it works. Let me just clear out my inventory. So this is basically what we're using. A 3x OR processing system brings in using iron chunks. Oxygen gives you some iron clumps. Put that in your crusher, that gives you some dirty iron. Use that in an enriching factory, gives you iron dust. Smelt that, gives you iron ingots. So this here will give you 3 iron chunks per 1 chunk, so therefore we get 3x OR processing. Pretty simple. This part here is just literally a simple refined storage. I have an electrolytic separator, bringing in water, dumping out the hydrogen because we're not going to use it, and just keeping the oxygen, feeding that into a chemical tank. Now at the back here we're using a X-Net controller with a bunch of different channels. You guys can see we'll go through that throughout the tutorial section of this video, controlling all of this whole entire system, pulling the items out, pulling the items back in, pulling the gas out of here into here, from there into there, pulling the water from there to there, power from there to everything and whatnot. And this is obviously just a basic system. So this has been running for a good probably 20 minutes now, and we've got 3,500 ingots processed. So it's a pretty quick system. It can run even quicker if you want it to. At the moment I've slowed it down just to keep my oxygen nicely. You can make this system a lot bigger if you wish. You can have more electrolytic separators, which on my series on Enigmatica I will be. I won't have it all here. I'll have this in a separate section with a bunch of them making a crap ton of oxygen, all then feeding directly into here. But that's on a series, so we won't worry about that. But yeah, so the tutorial we're going to start over here. I've got everything that we need over there ready to go. So let's get straight into the tutorial, guys. Alrighty, so everything that we need is in this chest right here. You need an electrolytic, I can never say this, electrolytic separator. You need a sink or some sort of water source. You can do this with the pump from Mekanism and an infinite water source, but I like using the sink. It's the exact same setup. A purification chamber or factory. These are all fully upgraded. So a crushing factory, a smelting, and an enrichment factory. Purifier, enrichment, smelting, and a crusher. For X-Net stuff, you're going to need some red network cables. Well, it doesn't matter about the color, but you need some network cables, the connectors, and you need the controller. You need a power source, and you're going to need yourself, my apologies, you're going to need yourself a chemical tank. I've just got an ultimate chemical tank here. It's obviously already filled with oxygen, but that's perfectly fine. It's not going to begin with. And then you'll need your refined storage system. So here we have just your normal basic refined storage system set up to go. We have an exporter exporting out of the system into, normally you have this as a chest. So as you can see, we don't, just because I needed items, but these two will both be chest normally. And then so this here, you filter what you want to go into the chest to go into the system. And then this chest here will export out of that system into this chest and then back into your refined storage system. That's if you want to do it that way. You can do it a little bit different. This is just how I like to do it. It's just neat and clean. Alrighty, let's get started, shall we? Let's get all these bad boys. So we need a sink. Place the sink down. On top of the sink, we need to place down our electrolytic separator. Next to the sink, we need our next to the electrolytic separator, we need our purifying factory. So then we need to put down the crusher down here. Next to that, we're going to need the enriching factory, which we'll get rid of that. And then next to that, we're going to need the smelting factory. And we'll get rid of all of that. I apologize for that. That shouldn't have already been there. I should have already tested all this, but all good. So we can get rid of all of that. We don't need any of that now. Now we just need this. Cool, so this is what the basic setup's going to look like. It's going to be a 3x2. Pretty simple setup, I know. Alrighty, so if you have a look over here, this is how we've done it. It's not too bad, not too crazy. So what we want to do is we want to put connectors on all of that. Every single one of them, we need a connector. Now next to this, we're going to need to put our controller. So we put our controller there, and then on top of that, we're going to put this bad boy here. Boom, pretty easy, right? Under this, we're going to put our power supply. Boom, all ready to go. Now, here's the tricky part. All of these need to be select to go to the back for power. So input is on the back. That should all be set up anyway, but that's fine. So all these inputs are set to the back for the power. We'll go through the settings as we're going through, but let's go back to the controller and let's get this stuff sorted running how we want it to go running. So we've got our channels. This needs power, right? Power's down here. So we need to make a channel and we need to call it energy. And I just like to name these, so power. Cool. New power, this one here, create, we want that to be an export. So we're exporting out of the power channel here, and now we want to import into this controller. Boom, so this should be getting power, but it's not. Set all side output out. Huh, this is weird. Usually it works. Extract, import. I literally just had this working. Alright, that was weird. I just changed that up a bit. Apparently this doesn't like to get power. It needs power. Sorry, let me rephrase that. It needs power already into it to be able to export power out of it, which is weird. So you just have to put it next to the power block, which kind of sucks, but that's fine. We can make it work. So I've just moved it down there and changed that. That's fine. We can make that work. So this can obviously all be behind and out of the way, but anyway, let's get into this. So we need to set this power up, create energy, create, there we go, power. Alright, and then we want to create this one, create, and this will be an export. Now we want to import into every single block, every single machine that needs power. So now if we look at this, they should all be full. Yep, they are all full. Cool, that's exactly what we want. Alright, the next thing we want is to get water going into, so we need fluid, into the electrolytic separator. So we're going to create water. Water input. Bam. We need to create this one, and that's going to export out of that one and go into this bad boy here, into the electrolytic separator. Boom. So now we should be having full water in that one, no problem, because we don't have anything to go in there. Now what we want to do is we want to get rid of that gas coming out of here. So let's turn this one into a gas. Create output gas, oxygen. We're outputting the oxygen from here and importing it into there. Alright, so this is, I'm going to dump a bunch of this just so we can make sure this is working correctly, right? Cool, so it's not working right now because we need to change this because we've got so much hydrogen in here. This needs to be dumping. And now you can see it's working and it's filling this bad boy up with some oxygen. So we don't want the hydrogen, so we dump that, otherwise it's going to stop the system from working. So that's cool. I forgot about that part, my bad. Next, we want to do another gas, but this one is input gas. So we want to extract out of this bad boy, and we want to input into our purification chamber. Insert. So that is this one here. So now it should be going into there. We might just have to change this one. Oh no, input, output, that's right. What did I do? Input into that one, extract out of that one. And what's going on? Energy, gases, input from the back. I literally just walked around for about 10 minutes trying to work out what's going on. And I just worked out what's going on. Alright. So now this should be... There we go. So now we've got oxygen into there. I just had it on the wrong side. So it's meant to be pulling from the bottom, not the side. The other system's set up differently a little bit, but that's fine. So now we've got oxygen going into there. So now what we need to do is we actually use the onboard mechanism movement to move the items around. So items, we need to import in from the top, import in from the back, and export from the bottom. Then the bottom down into this one, items, we're importing from the top and exporting out from the right. This the enriching factory, importing in from the left, exporting to the top, into the smeltery factory, out, importing in from the bottom, outputting out the back. Right, so that's pretty simple. That's all set up, ready to go. I haven't coughed all day until I start recording. God damn it. Anyway, back to this bad boy. So what we're going to need is we need to make a item input item, right? And then we also need to create a item output. So now the output and input is we want the input of the items to go into the purifying system. So we want to input into the purifying factory, create input into that one, and then we want to export out of the smelting factory. Now you probably realize that we got nowhere to put them to, and that's where this bad boy comes in. So now what we do is, you see here, this is linked into these two. So these two need controllers, and then we're just going to run it down like this for now, just to make it easier. And now they're linked to that refined storage system, and now we should see these two chests. So I like to label these. So this is import to 3 times ore processing, and this is export to ME system, refined storage system, whatever, same thing. Alright, so now we'll see them pop up here, export, import. It's pretty simple right now because they're two, when they're two different, the same chests. There's also why I like to use 2 different chest types for this system as well, but right now we'll just do this. Alright, anyway, back to the channels. Importing into here, so we want to create this and we want to export from there, right? And then we want to import into there once we are done. Now that's pretty cool, right? Now we'll just put all these onto sort, and bam, that is working and doing exactly what we want it to do. So the items are coming in, they're getting turned into uranium clumps, they're getting they're getting crushed into dirty uranium dust, they're getting put into here and going to uranium dust, and then they're going into uranium ingots. Now they're getting exported slowly, but they're getting exported into here and then back into the system. Pretty easy system to use. Very easy, very simple. 3 times ore processing with Mekanism and X-Net to make it very compact. If you didn't want to make it compact, and you didn't want to use X-Net, you have multiple different cables. You wouldn't be able to do it this compact because you'll need to do inputs and outputs and electrical cables and fluid cables and item transport cables. X-Net just compacts it really nice and makes it easy for us to do what we want to do. I hope this tutorial was to your liking. I hope it was a bit helpful for you guys. In the comments below, let me know what I can do to make them a little bit easier. Slow down, maybe do crafting recipes or whatever. I just try to keep it simple for you. But if it was handy for you, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next chapter. Check out my other series going on the channel at the moment. I've got one with Enigmatica 6. And I'll be starting one with old school 1.7.10 map mod pack, just for fun. But anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next mod tutorial. See you later.